the Scum Report. And so it begins. Weekly episode, the Scum Report. As always, thank you for listening. It's Scum Malicious. Had to change the time today. Got a family function that's going on, so it's just a 1 week thing. It'll be back to 10 o'clock next week. Wow. As usual, Hollywood is still kind of a gigantic fucking mess of people doing bad things. And I'm going to start with that. Rose McGowan, of course, she was one of the first ones to come out about dipshit Weinstein, right? It's really kind of a crazy story. So she got a felony cocaine charge against her. She had lost her wallet, and of course somebody an airline steward or somebody working with the airline found her wallet, or cocaine in it. She says that it was planted there, and she's going to, of course, plead not guilty. And when you think about it, is it really crazy to think that couldn't happen? I mean, it's would be safe to say that anything's possible. It's just I had to laugh when I seen the story, because when I read it at first I was like, oh, of course, she's probably been up for 3 or 4 days. She's just talking out of her ass. But then when you think about it, Harvey Weinstein, he's a piece of shit, first off, but he's got a lot of money. His career is over. Why wouldn't it be a possibility? For me personally, I wouldn't put it past him. But you know, with actors and actresses, sometimes we have no idea if we're getting the whole story. It just continues as it every day, right? Every day now there's somebody else. Sylvester Stallone, did you see that? Supposedly he raped a 16-year-old. I didn't see how long ago it was. And I said this last week. This is going to go on for a while. And we're going to kind of have to let the dust settle on some of these stories. But some of them are kind of ridiculous when you read the facts, what's behind them. And we know some of these women, without a doubt, it's a money grab. I hate saying that, but we know it's true. It happens all the time. And that in itself too, I want all these fucking scumbags to pay the price for what they're doing. If you're groping women and being a sick fucking disgusting asshole, then you should pay the price. But also, in the same vein, when somebody falsely accuses somebody of something like that, they need to pay the price too. I see it all the time. Can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Steve Wilkos, the guy that was on Jerry Springer forever. Now he's got his own show. A lot of it's like Springer. You know, it's like Shock TV or whatever. But you see it all the time. These women bring guys on the show. Oh, he molested my kid. And for like a year, these guys are being labeled as child molesters. They go on that show and they find out the woman was lying because she was pissed off at him. That he met another woman, or moved on from her, or was not paying attention to her, whatever. And that's just as bad. You cannot accuse somebody of something like that and have no consequences for it. It goes both ways. So we'll just see what happens with all these stories. Kind of on that same line, this is crazy. I found out about this one on Facebook yesterday. By the way, be careful clicking on some of them stories, you know. Shocking. This girl 10 years ago disappeared. They just discovered her. You know, read her story. And then you have to click 20 separate fucking pages to get to the end of the story. But also, there's a lot of spam and shit on those stories, and you get viruses and other shit you don't want that way. So be careful when you click on those stories. The teacher, she was in Colombia, and I'm probably going to say something here that's bad maybe. I'm not trying to be bad, it's just my opinion. Forcing students to have sex to get good grades, or basically it was saying they had to have sex with her or she would fail them. Well, I'll tell you what, if I had a teacher like that in high school, I'd been getting straight A's, Mom. You'd have been proud of your son, Mom. Oh, wow. You never used to take school so seriously. What's changed? Well, Mom, I've been inspired. I finally have a teacher that believes in me. That's so bad. I know it's wrong. I can't help it. But seriously, what's going on in the Columbia school system? And I really shouldn't laugh, especially when I'm following up such a serious story about sexual assault and sexual misconduct. That shit's not funny. But let's be honest. And I didn't get the age of the boys. I'm just thinking about when I was 16 years old, and I saw a picture of the teacher. She's not ugly, I'll tell you that. If she came up to me and said, "Listen, I'm going to go by my alias here, Dan." That's what I was actually named. I don't really go by that name very much anymore now that I've achieved celebrity status. Hey, listen, I'm up to 424 followers on Twitter. I'm kind of a big deal. At least 35 to 40 people have subscribed to me on YouTube. Actually, it's not even that much. Anyway, if I had a woman like that when I was 16, a teacher, do you want an A? Yes. Well, meet me after class and you're going to get an A. Yes! I'm sorry. That's the truth. So, unfortunately, I didn't have her as a teacher in high school, so not a lot of A's. But that's on me. My kids are good students, and I hope they continue to be good students, unlike their dad. Yeah, just a funny story. Walmart. I wanted to talk about Walmart, and nothing screams excitement on the Scum Report like Walmart. I read this earlier in the week. They are adding a clothing line called Lord and Taylor, and they're going to sell it on their website, I believe, the clothing items. They are targeting, get this, a higher income demographic. They want people like Kim Kardashian, I guess, to come and buy shit from Walmart. So you're going to kind of, the way I read this story, and maybe I'm taking it the wrong way, but basically what you're saying is the people that don't make a lot of money, it's not good enough for you, because even though what are they? I mean, how many billions of dollars do they make a year? It ain't enough. When was it? Like 3 or 4 years ago, before they finally got health insurance for their employees. And for the longest time, when you go into Walmart, right, and the people that worked there, they weren't very happy. You sure as fuck didn't want to ask them a question about where something was at. You know, they give you that look, I don't know, it's not my department. I'm not saying that all Walmart employees act like that. And there's some of them that actually do like their job. But, you know, putting in all those hours, no fucking health insurance, but it just the whole thing, and this has been happening over the last couple of years. They've been wanting to do that to expand, you know, the people that shop at their store. But most of the higher end stuff like this Lord and Taylor is through their website. I don't know. It just, and don't get me wrong. Listen, doctors, lawyers, people that go to school, they deserve to make more money than me. They've earned that. I think teachers should make more money. They get fucked, right? And I talked about that last week. It's ridiculous somebody can be an actor and get paid $20 million, but a teacher, and I'm talking about public school teachers, that affect a generation, right? All your kids that are in school right now, you are putting them in the trust of these schools that have hired these teachers to learn things to help them later in life. We don't pay them shit, but we'll pay some actor or actress that looks pretty, or some actor, you know, like Brad Pitt. I'm not hating on Brad Pitt. Well, he looks good in front of the camera, so we're going to give him $15 million for this movie. And the next movie we'll pay him $20 million because he deserved it. He's a good dramatic actor. And I know I'm kind of being over dramatic, but see what I'm saying? There's people that make a shitload of more money than me, and then that deserve it because they've earned that right. But the backbone of our country, and I talk about this all the time, that, you know, the guys that and women that work in the warehouses and the factories, and the guys like Brian that, you know, drive semis, and veterans in the military, and people that work at gas stations and grocery stores, shit like that. The backbone of our country, that's who shops at Walmart. And it just comes off as like, well, that's not good enough. We need fake ass fucking people like Kim Kardashian to shop at our stores, or our online, our website, sorry. You think Kim Kardashian be caught in fucking Walmart? Maybe a Target. Right? And the last little story here before I move on, I've got some themes going on today. I'm going to talk a little bit about sports. Not ESPN. I'm not ESPN. Gotta love the sound of the trucks in the morning. The neighbors. That's small town Iowa for you right there. Anyway, there's a few sports stories I have to talk about, but I'm not ESPN. Anyway, of course, Al Franken, the politician, he's a Democrat. Sexual misconduct allegations, and then the Republican Roy Moore. I don't remember what he did. He's accused of doing sick shit to underage girls or boys. I didn't catch the whole story. Bottom line is, and both sides are like, Al Franken needs to resign, right? That's what all the Republicans are saying. And then the Democrats, Roy Moore needs to resign. They are all fucking pieces of shit to me. Politicians. I don't care. You know, it's like name calling back and forth. My dad can beat up your dad. My mom can beat up your mom. My uncle's better than your uncle. That's just how I feel. I don't believe any of them. I don't believe a fucking thing any of them say anymore. I never have, and I never will. But when I see those stories where they're like, it's like a big cat fight where they're going back and forth. You need to resign. This is outlandish what you have done. You don't think politicians have been doing sick shit like this forever? Remember that Anthony Weiner guy? Shit, he got caught 2 or 3 times. It's all a matter of who gets caught and who doesn't. Trust me, 60 to 70% of politicians are fucking liars. I'm not calling all politicians a piece of shit. There are very few that you can trust. Trust me on that. So, sports. I don't have any little music I can play for, you know, my little sports theme here. I want to start with the UCLA players, the basketball players that got arrested for shoplifting over in China. And one of them is the ball kid whose dad is that obnoxious fuck LeVar Ball that no one can stand. I know I can't. But his son was one of the two, and they shoplifted like sunglasses or something. I don't remember everything that they stole. And I thought it was just one store. But they actually went to 3 separate stores, him and these other 2 players. And luckily enough, they're back in the United States. They should feel so fucking relieved that they're not still in China. I don't know. I guess Donald Trump and some other people with him talked to the Chinese government. I don't know everything that they said or everything that happened, but for them players to get out of China without anything happening is really fucking lucky. I wouldn't be that lucky. If I got caught stealing over in China, I'd be there for 3 fucking years. I'd be tortured. That's just my luck. But everybody's all outraged. I think 3 players got suspended indefinitely. But some people suspend them for a year or take away their scholarships. I think they should be suspended for a year, especially if they're going to 3 separate stores stealing shit. That they definitely should pay some kind of consequence for that. But let's not get crazy and act like that you're perfect and you haven't done something stupid. They're 18-year-old kids. It looks a lot different because at first I thought it was the one store, and if you look at that like, okay, he said, just dumb kids. They're 18. They made a stupid decision. But to go to 3 separate stores, that kind of paints it in a different light. But they're 18. Can we at least give them a chance to redeem themselves a little bit before we put them in prison for 10 years for stealing sunglasses and socks or whatever the fuck they stole? Let's not get all crazy here, because we tend to do that. I do it. I do it all the time. But the people that I talk about, they deserve it, because I'm always right. See how I did that? Like I always pat myself on the back, 'cause nobody else is going to do it. Not even Penelope. Don't look at me like that. Alright. I read about this story this morning, and I'm tying it into a bigger picture, bigger thing, and it was an Alabama fan for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He shot an Auburn fan in the leg, and they were talking to a reporter on ESPN. He's like, that's how it is. The Alabama and Auburn rivalry, it's a real thing. People have died. Why? See, this is when shit gets ridiculous. Like in soccer, I'm not a huge fan of soccer. Actually, I'm not a fan of soccer at all. I can't watch it. I don't understand it. I don't. But, sometimes those soccer events, I haven't heard of any in a while, but remember when people would riot? Like hundreds of people would die after somebody winning a soccer game. The whole thing with fans nowadays, it's way too extreme. I mentioned this a week, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, and a guy was talking about a football player that dropped a pass, and he's like, well, hopefully he dies in a car wreck on the way home. What? Why the fuck would you say that about a game? Like, some of these fans take the games way more seriously than the actual players do. And you go shoot somebody over an argument over a team or a game or a player. And this was a couple years ago, and I can't remember the teams. I know it was in LA, and I don't remember if it was a football game or a baseball game, but these guys got the shit beat out of them because they were the fans for the opposing team. And literally, that's what it was. The guys were drunk, and almost beat this guy half to death because he was a fan of the visiting team. And I don't know what the answer is, but these fans nowadays are way out of control. It's ridiculous. And just like I was talking about with women making false accusations about guys raping them or being child molesters, there needs to be consequences for fans saying whatever they want to on Twitter, and they attack teams and players and coaches. You can be critical. You can be a fan, say you don't like a certain play or a certain coach or the way a game went, but it's out of control when people are getting shot and killed over a fucking game. I mean, give me a break, really, people. Come on. That's ridiculous. Life goes on, okay? Life goes on. It's just a game. Your team will play again next week or the next day, whatever. What fuck? People don't need to be getting shot over a fucking game. It's ridiculous. Jerry Jones. Yes, I'm a Cowboys fan, by the way. Yeah, I know. They've been kind of sucky this year. And people will probably disagree with me on this or probably just laugh it off saying, okay, yeah, you're a total fanboy. Got in trouble. He made a joke, and it was a racially insensitive joke. I didn't even watch it. I didn't even look at the video clip because I don't care. I really don't, and I'll tell you why. Because comedians make jokes all the time about other races, and it's funny. I don't consider comedians racist. Is it right that he's making a joke and it's offensive to a race? Probably not, but I'm not going to make a big deal about it. It's just like the N-word, which I don't use. I don't think any person should use. I think it's a horrible fucking word, but there's certain people that can use it that aren't black, and then another white person can use it and it's racist. So I'm really confused on the word. I am. I'm just being honest. I see people use it on Facebook. They're younger than me, and I don't understand why they're using it. I mean, if I wouldn't use it, not around black people. I just don't understand it. I just wish we'd do away with the fucking word. That's just me. So when it comes to this stuff now, I just don't care anymore. Like I said, comedians make jokes all the time about other races, and it's funny. But the minute it's somebody like Jerry Jones who's pissed a lot of people off, or that hate the Cowboys, it's a big deal. And that's just the way I look at it. And you know what? Deion Sanders, prime time, who I don't even like. I really don't. But he already said, he's like, Jerry Jones doesn't need to apologize. He's not racist. And he's not. All you have to do is look at his history and realize that he's not racist. But the last little sports story here. Jameis Winston. Did you see that fucking story with Uber? Supposedly he groped an Uber driver. He is banned from Uber. Some lady reported him and said that he groped her. This happened in March, and the NFL is supposedly investigating this. Here's the thing that is ridiculous to me. We are just finding out about this, and yes, I'm going to circle this around back to the Cowboys. Oh, fanboy. Okay, Zeke Elliott is serving a 6-game suspension because he was accused by a woman, Tiffany Thompson, of sexual misconduct. Domestic assault, not sexual misconduct. Sorry, I got confused there. Domestic violence. He wasn't charged. He didn't go to court over it, but the NFL investigated it, and they thought he should serve a 6-game suspension. I'm not going to get into that because I think it's a bunch of bullshit. There's a whole giant backstory to it. You can get online, you can read about it. We've heard about this for months now with Zeke Elliott, and we're just finding out about this. And she did not file a police report. and the police don't know anything about this, but she reported it to Uber, and Uber banned him. And that's what I'm saying. That's all it takes to be suspended in the NFL. That's what they've said. They're taking a big stance on all this stuff. Domestic violence, sexual assault, as they should. They should take it seriously. But they overdo it. Because they shouldn't be lawyers. They shouldn't be a justice system. They shouldn't be a court of law. They should stick to improving their game and not worrying about legal matters. Whole other story. All I'm saying is, if you're going to suspend one guy for 6 games because of some woman accusing him of something, then it should follow the same suit for Winston. And let's be honest, where there's smoke, there's fire. This guy's a fucking goober. Yeah, that shit he did, I think I talked about it last week, where he's doing that pregame thing about eating a wind and sucking his fingers and shit. Like, all you gotta do is look at his history and remember, I don't know the whole story, and especially when they settle out of court, it doesn't necessarily mean they're guilty. Talking about, because he settled out of court with a woman who accused him of sexual assault at Florida State. You know, he got suspended for saying some stupid shit in the break room. And like, there's a difference between being young and immature and just being a total dumbass. I mean, that's just how I feel. Famous Jameis. But you know, just like, and I was watching, because the Buccaneers were on Hard Knocks NFL. Like, when you see him behind the camera and stuff, he's just kind of a goober. It's just like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, he's not playing with the full deck, and he's your quarterback? Alright. Enough of sports, right? Now we get to talk about 2 of my favorite things, Hollywood and music. I always finish it up with music, of course. I actually have a few little things to talk about when it comes to music. I'm going to start with movies, and I'm not going to talk about a new movie right off the bat. Going to talk about Life, the movie Life. I don't know when it came out. It came out earlier this year, February or March, and basically there's a reason why I'm telling you about this movie. I know you're like, wow, you just went from Jameis Winston to a movie called Life that nobody gives 2 shits about. There's a reason why. Anyway, like these astronauts, they discover this organism on Mars, and it starts expanding a little bit, whatever. Come to find out, it turns into this giant monster. I know that's a shocker. It's like every movie like that, like, copies Alien. It's not Alien. It's just this thing that I don't know exactly what it does. Like, right at the beginning, it goes inside Ryan Reynolds. He's in the movie. Yeah, Deadpool. He's in it for like the first 20 minutes. It goes inside his stomach, and then it comes back out. There's little bubbles of blood. So I don't know if it just like eats its insides or eats people's insides. Anyway, it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Of course, it becomes real big at the end. But there's 2 people left, because obviously the other 4 die. You gotta kill off most of these people. I'm surprised there were 2 people left at the end. It's usually 1. But Jake Gyllenhaal, and I don't know who the lady actress is, he decides, listen, we can't let this thing go to Earth, this life form that's eating everybody up. I don't want to go back to Earth. Yeah, for some reason he hates Earth. He wants to stay in outer space. It makes sense. It's Hollywood, right? Stay in outer space the rest of your life, or live on Mars. Actually, I don't blame him. Fuck, who'd want to live here anymore? Anyway, he's like, I'm going to take the creature with me, and you can go back to Earth. I should have paid more attention. I don't know why. There's only this little capsule left that can go back to Earth. Anyway, so you see both of these little capsules, and you're thinking, okay, Jake Gyllenhaal's taking this creature, whatever the fuck. By the way, the creature looks like a giant octopus with a little head. It doesn't have a round head. It's got like this square head. It's just it looks like a giant fucking octopus. I mean, that nothing screams horror and scariness, like a giant octopus eating people, right? Ooh, scary. It's kind of like the creature of the Black Lagoon. I'm not kidding. I watched that the other day on YouTube because it was funny. They would scream, and that the creature from the Black Lagoon, it'd take him like 20 minutes to like move 5 feet. It's like, why are you staying there screaming? Just run. He's not going to catch you. Anyway, so both of these capsules, they're hurling, and eventually, you know, one's going to shoot out and just go on into outer space, the creature, and then the other one will go back to Earth. Well, guess what? This is what Hollywood does. The woman who was supposed to go back to Earth, whatever, she's in the wrong capsule, so she's hurling towards outer space, and, you know, and I was reading online, what a shocking ending. Oh, can you imagine the horror of being in the capsule and just being launched into space forever? No, because I'd never be in that fucking situation in the first place. I love astronauts. I love what you do. I ain't taking no unnecessary risks. Not at this point. And then, of course, so Jake Gyllenhaal, he's got the creature. They land on Earth somewhere near Vietnam, and you know these guys are coming up to the ship, and he's in the inside. He's still alive, which is weird because everybody else dies, but Jake Gyllenhaal somehow lives, and you can kind of see the creature's even gotten bigger. It's octopus arms are everywhere, and he's like, no, don't open the door. We don't want the creature getting out and, you know, eating everybody on Earth. But Hollywood, all the fucking time with these endings, they ruin the movie. Not that it was a great movie to begin with, okay? But why can't you just end it like that with the one, like, can we have a happy ending? Or, you know, I watched a movie with Mel Gibson. It was a newer one. I know some fans probably don't like him because of the whole losing his mind and yelling at Jewish people. But I like Mel Gibson. I like some of his movies. And this movie's with his daughter. I wish I remembered the title. You know, you'd think I'd write the title down because I'm going to fucking talk about it, but sometimes I don't think. Anyway, his daughter, she's a drug addict, and her boyfriend's this drug dealer. Anyway, he was in prison, and they're kind of reconnected. It's kind of a cool movie. It really is. Like, in people getting shot and killed. Yeah, I like movies that, for one, drugs, sex, killing. Doesn't take much to entertain me, right? Anyway, of course, he dies at the end. Mel Gibson. Why does Hollywood always... that's just the way it feels like anymore. Okay, we got to come up with the most dramatic ending we can find, right? And I get it. Not every movie should have a happy ending. I understand that. But it's just like they go out of their way sometimes to do that, right? It's just fucking annoying, alright? That's all I'm saying. But speaking of that, and this is another movie, and it's called Get Out. I know. You're like, what the fuck? Is this at the movies 11 months ago? Yeah, it is. Because that's what I do. I wait for movies to come out on DVD or on the movie channels. Because a lot of times I get disappointed. But Get Out. Now that's how you do a movie. Really cool movie. You know, the two black guys in that movie are hilarious, you know. And he goes to his white girlfriend. They go to visit her parents. Then it comes to find out, like, he's transferring peoples into black people's bodies so that they can live as black people. It sounds like a crazy plot, but it's really good. It was really different, and it was nice to see that, because you don't get that from Hollywood much anymore. Something new, fresh, different, unique. And it's the guy from Jordan Peele, I don't remember which guy it was, that made the movie. We need more guys like him to make interesting movies. And the little final note here. How about that? The Justice League came out, right? Remember when I was telling you, not a huge superhero movie fan right now? And all the reviews are like, yeah, it's okay. I'm just telling you, it's burnout. It's superhero burnout. It's my opinion. And that's my little trip at the cinema with Scumalicious. I know. About 10 months late. I get it. But now, I do get to push one of my little buttons. Going to talk about some music. And finally, yeah, I still have it. Ask Maggot of the Week. And cue the music, Penelope. Isn't that neat? I just, like I said, I have to be a fan of myself because there's a fuck nobody else is a fan right now. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I know I've got fans. About 13 or 14 of them. Alright. Jesse Lacey. There is your Ask Maggot of the Week. Who are we talking about? Well, he's the lead singer of Brand New. Yes, that same Brand New that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s with all those other fucking emo bands and ruined the Warped Tour. Yeah, you know, he's the one that they had the video. Gosh, I could remember the name of the song. I should. It's just such a long title. That's why. But they're in a car crash, and he's riding with his girlfriend in the ambulance at the hospital. That okay. The chorus. Keep your feet on the ground. Keep your feet on the ground. It's just screaming, and then you got the guitarist guy wearing the fucking baseball cap sideways, just yelling in the microphone. It's just god-awful shit. I'm sorry. If you're Brand New fans, I'm sorry. But they've canceled their tour. Why? Because he's a fucking creep. He is. 2 different women. Of course, we're going down the sexual misconduct shit again. But this shit was reported in the early 2000s, and 2 separate women came and they told separate stories to a person that worked for the band. The story didn't say if it was a guy or a girl that worked with the band, but these 2 women came and talked to this person. So we're just finding out about it, but this shit, people knew it was going on. That's what I'm trying to get at. So here we go. Somebody else is obviously protecting Jesse Lacey. And I wrote this on Facebook. I'm sorry, but it's true. Now I know why he was crying in all of his fucking songs, because he's a sick fucking asshole. And he apologized. I don't know what he said, but I know somebody responded to it on Twitter and said, "Wow, that was a pretty blanket apology. Fuck him." I was like, okay, I like this person. He thinks like I do. But they both these women confided in this person that worked for the band and said that's what happened. So I'm not gonna. It sounds like a very creditable story. That's what it sounds like to me. He's a sick fuck. Like I said, they canceled their tour, and somebody like that. And here's the other thing: like he was telling these women to send him pictures online, and then he was sending pictures. And I think I read where he. Pictures of him masturbating. There we go with that fucking masturbating thing. Hey, you know what screams hot? What's that? I'm going to send a video of me masturbating, and I want you to watch it. It's going to last about 23 seconds, okay? Oh my god, yes. I just don't fucking get that. I just don't. Either way, he's a fucking creep. Congratulations, Jesse Lacey. You are the Ass Maggot of the Week. And Eddie Hermida. Am I pronouncing that right, or is it Hermida? Eddie Hermida? Suicide Silence? It's alright. I don't listen to him either. They're a deathcore band. I don't listen to deathcore. Fuck no. And he's another one. He apologized to some girl. Did some shit to her. I know, at this point, it's overkill. I get it, but I have to mention it, because it's connected to music. But we did get some good news. We really did. Yeah, I wanted to push another button. The Warped Tour is ending. 2018 is the last year. Finally! The fucking shit pile known as the Warped Tour. They've decided. Kevin Lyman, the guy that started it. Listen, I loved the Warped Tour in the beginning, but it sucks now. It really does. There's nothing good about it anymore. I am just glad they came to the realization that, you know what? The last couple years, because you know it's getting bad when they have to step outside of the normal bands to get people to come. what do? Well, you grab death metal bands and you grab gore to save your ass because you know nobody wants to see emo and screamo shit anymore. That's what it comes down to. I'm right. You know I'm right. But sayonara, one more year and it's over. I want to finish up too real quick with I reviewed Oscar Treatment 5. It's my number 5 album of all time on my top 50. I got some new software, so yeah, I'm editing it. I almost fucked that word up, but I'm trying to sound all professional right there when I use words like editing with new software. But it is coming, as promised. I'm just trying to make it look nice. I'm adding stuff to my videos to get more people to watch and subscribe. Keyword there, subscribe, folks. And actually, I want to finish up with this. We're almost to December. Think about that. Where in the fuck did this year go? I started the top 50 in January, obviously. I just can't believe I'm already at number 5. And we're getting down. I mean, it's going to be December in a couple weeks. And what I'm saying is, going to be a lot of lists. You know, the best of 2017, the worst. And I'll try to not use all time or best ever. Because I do say that a lot. I notice that. Excitement overcomes me a lot. And I run out of fucking words to say. Limited brain capacity, which means limited words that I can use that sound good. Alright, but I'm working on it. And there you go. A early version of the Scum Report. My weekly podcast where I get to pretend that I'm Ted Koppel. There's a name from the past. But I enjoy it. It's fun for me, but I promise back to the regular time next week. Just family functions going on. It happens. Alright. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and as always, I'll be back here on Monday to take care of that hangover. Take it easy, and if it's easy, take it twice. I'm out.